I need time to prepare that. I need time to prepare that. I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet. I need time to prepare. I'm not ready yet. I need time.
Abomination! Spawn of living! You shall burn for nothing!
I need time to prepare. I need time to prepare. I'm not ready yet. I need time to prepare. I'm not ready yet. I need time to prepare. I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet.
Hello guys, so for this build, the lightning spear Sorc, I'm using basically or 90% the same build as the one shown from RageGaming, so I will just link his build in the description, but I just modified it slightly. So instead of he goes and takes 2 additional boards, one from here and I think one from here, which I decided that are not as useful or let's say necessary for the build to function. As you could see, I was able to do Lilith just fine, T7, T8, no problems. And PvP as well, so this build can do everything. It's basically the same as what he's using, just 2 boards are missing because there was no glyphs on these boards, and instead of putting the points, the extra points in just 2 other boards without glyphs, I decided to max out the other glyphs, which is I find better for my playstyle. So with that being said, what I'm using, so I'm using slightly different skill, but I'll show you that for the PvE and the PvP. So for this is for the PvE. So for the PvE thing, I'm using unstable current instead of the flame shield. For the PvP, I'm just removing unstable current and I'm using flame shield. So for the gear, I'm using Shaco and Tyrio's Might, of course, right, because it's necessary to use these two. Then for the gloves, I'm not using the Fist of Fate. Both for the PvP and the PvE, I'm always using. I don't like the huge RNG in the Fist of Fate. I know that every build on YouTube is using Fist of Fate. I don't use them in any of my builds because I don't like the huge RNG. Yes, you can, hit for 300% of your damage, but you can also hit for 1% of your damage. And as I said, I just don't like this huge RNG. So this is the gloves that I'm using. You want gloves with great affix crit chance and possibly hit that affix 3 times. Why? Well, because the lightning spear is all that is doing the damage. And as you can see, we have just basically 1 point in lightning spear, and the rest 4 are from Shaco. So we haven't even maxed out the lightning spear, because it's not the spear itself that is doing the damage, but it's this aspect, right? The aspect is everything that is doing the insane damage, and this aspect is doing insane amount of damage. I mean, like truly insane amount of damage. And if you read it carefully, the last thing that says is this damage is increased by your crit strike damage bonus. And you want to crit because you have high crit damage. So in order to crit consistently, you need as high crit chance as possible, and that's why you want greater affix crit chance here and on the ring as well. And what you temper is lightning spear lucky hit chance or ice blades. I think it was yes, ice blades lucky hit chance. So one of the two, but preferably lightning spear lucky hit chance, because then you can use it for both PvP and PvE. In PvP, you're not gonna use lightning ice blades that often, if at all. So because you will be one-shotting everything. So there won't be a window or opportunity to use ice blades. So lucky hit chance, like the lightning spear lucky hit chance, is better on the gloves, and you want this on the pants as well. Then okay, for the pants, I have one with greater affix intelligence. Then you want max life, and the other one can be really anything, but I find that life per second is the most useful thing, because anything else is just meh. I mean, it's either resists or something really completely useless. So really whatever you prefer here. And I just took life per second as that's the only kind of useful thing that I can have. Then as tempers, you want warmth, and again lightning spear lucky hit chance. So what's warmth? Warmth is this passive that gives you basically your healing for each nearby enemy for 3% of your maximum life, and 12% from bosses, like up to 12% when you're fighting bosses. But that's quite useful, because if you are playing, if there are mobs around you, especially in PvE, it's very, very useful. So then for the boots, you need Essus Heirloom. Now you don't really need them with greater affix, but it's preferable. You don't need them with 2 or 3. You just need them with 1 greater affix, honestly, and that greater affix should be on the movement speed though. But the most important thing is that you want the unique ability, like your crit strike chances increased by 39 or 40% of your movement speed bonus. You want this as high as possible. Like, of course, you should aim for like 40%, but as high as you can get it, right? The movement speed if it's gonna be a greater affix or not is not that important as this one. This one is more important to have high chance. Ideally, you will have this, like 40% with greater affix on movement speed, because you don't have movement speed anywhere else on the gear. On the amulet, you could temper movement speed and raw movement speed if it was legendary, but for this build you're forced to use fractured winterglass, which you cannot temper or enchant. So the only source of movement speed would be your gloves. So preferably you want them with greater affix movement speed and as high as possible unique percentage of the unique ability. Then for the weapon we are using staff. On the staff you want intelligence max 5 crit strike damage and temper crit strike damage and chance for a second lightning spear when cast. And of course for the amulet you want fractured winterglass. Now you should take one that is with 0.3 seconds. Don't take anything less than 0.3. 0.2 is doable, but that's the bare minimum. 0.1 won't do it. Ideally you want it with 0.3. And don't bother if you don't hit like the 25% on masterworking on this affix. As long as you have it at 0.3, after masterworking it will become 0.4. That's enough. But really try to get it with 0.3. And the other important thing is that you want the casting frozen orb has 64% chance, and then lucky hit your conjurations have up to 88% chance to launch a frozen orb. You want these percentages as high as possible, nearly to the max. But don't take ones that are like 50 something. Take at least 60 on the first one and at least 70 on the second one. So for the ring, one of the rings is of course Taurasha. I'm using one with greater affix because that's what I got. I know that there are like you can get this with, or you can buy it right with 4 greater affix or 2 or 3 greater affix, but that's enough. That's you don't even need it with greater affix, if I have to be honest. What's more important here is not if you will have. I actually didn't have. I recently got this one. I was using another one without greater affixes at all, and it was 19.5 to 78%. The previous one. This one is 17.5 and 70, and it's still fine. The most important thing is these percentages. You want them as high as possible. Ideally, you should take something like, in the high end range, and don't bother if it's greater affix or no, and don't even care about the potent wording. Potent wording is just junk affix, really, in my opinion. It does nothing like. Yeah, I mean, grants you all resistance, like as if you don't have Tyrio's Might, right? It just does nothing, really. Absolutely nothing. So don't bother for greater affixes if you don't have greater affix. If you have a good row for the elemental damage, like the high end range, that's much better. Then for the other ring, I'm using just a legendary ring with attack speed, crit chance, and crit damage. But the attack speed I didn't bother to roll, but you can roll health or lucky hit chance. But given that the lucky hit chance of the lightning spear is so low, I wouldn't bother rolling lucky hit again. I would more likely roll HP. So you can either go for attack speed or HP. It's up to you. So that's for the gear aspects. Of course, we are using the splintering energy on the weapon. Then here I'm using the frozen orb aspect. On the pants I'm using the Veers Mastery, and here I'm using the Orange Herald. Now the Orange Herald I'm using only for the PvE aspect, but for the PvP you can put Edge Master here. And then, you know, the rest are just the legendaries. For the skill tree, I'm basically using almost the same as the one from RageGaming. That, you know, the link is in the description, so go and check that out. For the PvE aspect, I advise you to check his skill tree because it's optimized for PvE. This one that I'm showing you here is optimized for PvP, but it's mostly identical, but there are slight differences. So for example, here I'm not taking the glass cannon. Why I'm not taking the glass cannon? Because it's literally a glass cannon, right? This character is glass cannon. You already have so much damage. I'm telling you, this is insane amount of damage. And I've been the Horde that I showed you, the Lilith, I was playing it without this. So if you take this, you do even more damage. So you already have enough damage to just melt everything in the game. In the PvP context, you don't want to get one shot or from everything, right? I mean, other Sorcs will still one shot you. So it's, you know, if you are playing against other lightning spear Sorcs, it would be difficult, and it's skill based because you shouldn't approach them. That's the point. You should just spam your lightning spears and let them come to you instead of you coming to them. The moment you come into their lightning spears, you're one shot. Anyway, so don't take the glass cannon for PvP. And the other thing, I think are mostly the same. Yeah, okay, so I'm not here. I didn't take put all points in the these builds in these nodes. So I took the static discharge and 3 points in shocking impact, because every time you stun an enemy you deal additional lightning damage to them, and when your lightning spear critically strikes, they are stunning enemies for 2 seconds. And that's another reason why you want high crit chance, right? Because the more often you crit, the more often you will stun them, the more often you will proc this. And basically everything else is the same. So for this, just for the PvP, just remove the points from the unstable current, and you just put them in the flame shield like this, and then you just change this aspect with Edge Master, and you should be good to go. For the Paragon, it's almost the same. I mean, it's 90% the same. So I will just put everything in the description. Okay, now last thing, how to play this. Well, first, if you I've put my lightning spear on my first button and ice blades on my second button, and if you just move, right, you are not gonna cast the lightning spear. If you hold shift and then first click, then you will cast the lightning spear. But you can adjust this as you prefer, right? So how I play it is that I just move, then I cast lightning spear, and then I just start spamming frozen orbs, and then just cast lightning spears again. And when they hit an enemy, you know, and you spam the frozen orbs to reduce the cooldown of your lightning spear, and basically you always have lightning spears that are orbiting you, right? And if anything comes near you, they just, get evaporated. It's extremely brain dead build, and honestly I don't enjoy this build because it's so brain dead. But you know, the playstyle is boring to me. But it is what it is, right? That's basically the gameplay. You just go and spam like crazy, and that's it. That's the whole gameplay of the build, of the OP build of this season, right? And as you can see, just anything gets melted completely. And you can, by the way, one-shot the PvP boss here, the Seething Abomination. I just one-shot him and he's not here now, but you can just cast it once and he will be one-shot. So yeah, basically that's how you play the build. That's it basically for me. I'm out.